All right, all right. Greetings, greetings. So today we're gonna react on a clip that I guess has ruffled some feathers. Um, for those that don't know, my name is Blaine Bent, aka Bravo Picasso. I'm an artist, and yeah, man, we doing a reaction video to my guy Tracy Morgan. Uh, and shit. I mean, without further ado, let's just get into the clip.
You're always gonna ask about taxes.
Taxes, then.
Let's do it. What's up? What's I remember? Don't talk to me like I owe you something. I didn't say that. Boy, can I get something, please? No. When we was younger. Yeah, but I think I forgot. I'm homeless, boy. So what that got to do with me? I ain't do that. Oh, shit. Can I get a picture of my sister? You're always gonna.
Okay. Shout out to Buck City Clips. Look, man, this is gonna be an uncomfortable truth for a lot of you guys out there. You know, on this short, I even see it says Tracy Morgan verbally abuses homeless friend, right? So the thing about it is, right, just because me and you have a past doesn't make us friends now that we're in our adulthood. It doesn't work that way. You know, it was kind of eerily familiar with Michael B. Jordan when he was getting interviewed by that one broad, and I guess she called him corny back then with her friends in school. And you know what I'm saying, for anybody that knew about Michael B's come up, in the early acting career of being in The Wire, known as Wallace, you know what I mean? Like, they called that man corny and all sorts of things. You know what I'm saying? And what people gotta understand is that, people, and I could even speak to this, people that, locked in, when they was younger, stayed to themselves or focused on whatever it was that was obviously premature. It could be your rhymes, or maybe you was the emo kid listening to your emo music, or you was probably playing, Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon with your friends, or Magic the Gathering or some shit. And like the peer pressure in social groups to like tease people or shit. It didn't even have to be if you had a hobby. If you just didn't have certain clothes, you know what I'm saying, to blend in and fit in and feel accepted, you'll get roasted for it, and then if you didn't know how to roast back, then you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like you just asked out. But you quickly realize, even though it takes time, that all of that shit that you was enjoying doing, and you're still doing it, and it probably got better over time or whatever, you realize how full of shit people are, right? And when Buddy was like, yo, could I hold something, boy? Even though that's slang, or from the block, from wherever they from, it's like me and you were not boys. You know what I'm saying? We're not friends. We weren't friends back then. And one of the ladies that was like, tax season, it's like, he just made bad decisions in life. He made poor decisions. You know what I'm saying? That caused him to be homeless. I was homeless. Does that mean that, I stayed making poor decisions, or did random shit happen and I still had to be accountable for it while I was down bad in that situation? And what did I do when I was in that situation? Did I wait for one of my friends to be famous in dancing or music or acting, and DM them for a couple of dollars, or see them in person, and I know that they're gonna be over here performing tonight, so let me go over there and be like, yo, getting their good graces and get a couple of dollars? Or Or did I get a job application? You know what I'm saying? Like, did I boss up? You know, did I handle business? All that shit that he was talking probably back then that got Tracy, you know, irritated in a way, and just telling him off rip, like, yo, like, don't talk to me like I owe you nothing, because we don't. I don't. He doesn't. You know what I'm saying? You broke all by yourself, homie. You know what I'm saying? And if you was a bully back then, where you had parents that funded your lifestyle in a way for having all the latest gear or technology or whatever it is, I mean, y'all boys don't understand like how important the fucking goddamn iPhone was, and the iPod Nano. You know what I'm saying? Even if you had a shuffle, they would be like, oh, he got the shuffle. He don't got the touch though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. So it's just like, you know, how much empathy can you really have as you know, evolve and grow into who you are, you know, supposed to be, and with your career. And I'm not saying that, you know, you should never help people. That's not what this is. But clearly, Tracy knows the level of relationship with that guy to identify him off rip immediately amongst everybody. And that's important. You know, just because the cameras is on and now this is the time to look like a benevolent God, where, you know, even though you wronged me in the past and you talked cash shit, you know, I'm gonna bestow you with munyon. Yeah, it's like, it don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody trying to be a fictitious fuck for the sake of fans, you know what I mean, to fall out for. It don't work that way. So to be honest, you know, leave your comments and your thoughts of how you feel about that below. Again, watch how you know, treat people, because you never know who's who. And it's not so much that, you know, it's like, damn, like, you got to be nice to everybody in case, you know, you need a favor. It's just be a decent human being. You know what I mean? If you was an asshole, you gonna reap what you sow. You feel me? And just because he homeless don't mean that it's game over. It's just a point in his life where he got to recognize where the fuck to lock in and where to put his best years left into what matters the most. That could be to start a family. That could be to get a job. That could be to move somewhere else where it's less cost effective for, you know, sheer survival. I'm thinking they was in the city somewhere. So, you know, a lot of people got to understand, like, you know, try your best to figure out what's best for you, so that way you can thrive, rather than trying to uphold the image and a facade and be somewhere you can't afford, and you know what I'm saying, just to be tapped in on what's going on. Like, that shit is whack, man. You can visit them places when you got paper. You know what I'm saying? But if you spending three thou hours for a fucking closet, come on, man, get your priorities straight. It ain't all about Jordans and jerseys and hoes and you know, Henny and dice games and, you know, whatever the fuck you think was cool. You clearly, now the focus has shifted to where Tracy is the cool. Tracy is the one that's attracting the people. They popping shots to see him. Shit, you know he cool because you in the position of asking him for money because you know he got it. You know what I'm saying? So really think about that next time. Don't underestimate people that, you know, didn't have it in the beginning or was just quiet to themselves, because people like that tend to never forget and tend to be like Batman in the shadows, formulating a plan to destroy and get rid of all of you bastards. You know what I mean? And that's from yours truly, Blame Ben. Make sure you check me out on all streams as well. Do your boy some love and justice. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're going to have a crazy 2026. I'm going to try my best to keep putting out content. You know what I'm saying? We already in January, and I got a couple of videos ready and queued up. So, you know what I'm saying? Without any further ado, man, I love y'all. And shit, we going to actually tap into another video, man. So stay tuned. All right, peace.